Once you've bought your fabric, you have to get it ready for your quilt, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth, and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pojagi, and embroidery. So welcome to this series of Make Your First Quilt. And in this series, I'm stepping through all the steps of everything you need to do to make your first quilt. So in the last video, I talked about what fabric you need to get and how to choose it. So you can go back and watch that if you have questions about your fabric. But once you have your fabric, then you need to prepare it for working in your quilt. And there are a couple of different options for that. So I'm going to be discussing the different options and when you might want to do either one. So the first thing that is a little bit controversial with some quilters is whether or not you need to wash your fabric before you use it. Now, it used to be kind of standard that you would always wash fabric. If you bought fabric new from a store, you would always wash it before you used it. And that was for a number of different reasons, but the biggest reasons were because people recycled a lot of fabric from other items. So if you had fabric that was used in clothing, that already would have been washed many times. And if you mixed it with brand new fabric that had never been washed, it might shrink at different rates and then the seams would pull apart. Then the other reason why is sometimes the dyes that were used in fabric years ago, there would still be a lot of dye and a lot of sizing and things left in the fabric. And so then when you washed it, sometimes the colors would run, and you didn't want the colors to run in your finished quilt. It's better to have the colors run and you can test everything before your piece is finished. And so those are some of the reasons why people pre-wash fabric. Some people, they might have allergies to some of the things that are in fabric, in processing and manufacturing and shipping. Even just sometimes there is dust and things in the fabric because it's been made and then transported and then it's in the store. So sometimes there's little things like that. So people that are really sensitive, they might want to pre-wash before they use it in a project. Then there are other people who never pre-wash. They'll just take it from the shop, start cutting and sewing right away. And with a lot of modern fabrics, there's not really as much of a problem with that. The dyes are different that are used, and so there's not as much of a problem with colors running. So that is a little bit of a personal choice. But I'm just going to recommend to you, if you want to pre-wash it, you can go ahead and do that. You can just take your fabric, put it in the washer and dryer just the way you're going to wash your finished piece. And then you'll know you have clean fabric. You'll know if the color is going to run. You'll know if it's going to shrink. It's already shrunk on you. And so you can go ahead. If you feel comfortable with the fabric, you can also not pre-wash it. So I don't have a rule to give you. It's kind of a personal guideline. I will tell you, if when you feel your fabric, if it feels kind of stiff or it feels like there's something in it, then you might want to wash it just to clear that out. Sometimes it's dye or sizing or something. And if you have like a bold, bright fabric, like if it's red or navy or something, then you might want to take extra care to wash that because those are colors that are more likely to run. So wash or pre-wash, it's kind of up to you. You can find 100 other videos giving you many different opinions about what's right and what's wrong. I generally don't wash because I'm kind of a lazy quilter, but if there was something that I could feel in the fabric, then I would go ahead and wash. So I do a mix, but I do a lot more no pre-washing. So once your fabric, you're convinced it's clean, it's how you want to use it, then you are going to want to press it. This is something that you will have to do. So you'll have to get your iron and ironing surface. And we press for a few different reasons. So pressing will kind of help if there's going to be any little shrinking. Pressing can help with that. And also when it comes on the bolt, sometimes there's creases in the fabric and it just gets little folds from how it is sitting on the bolt. So we do want to press to get those out. And the one big crease is when you buy fabric, it comes off the bolt and it is folded in half. So you can see it's folded in half. That fold and wrapping onto a bolt is all done by machine. So usually it's pretty straight, but it's never going to be perfectly straight. And so this crease that's in the middle, the fold in the middle, we want to kind of press that out to get that as smooth as possible, because we are going to be folding it and have to work with it. But if this crease isn't totally straight, we don't want to rely on this crease. So if we press this out, then we can fold it in half again. Now, something else that some people like to do, some people like to starch their fabric. And starching the fabric, it will make it easier to work with. It will give it a bit more stiffness and body, which will make it easier to cut and sew with. And so if you want to try this, you can just get starch from the grocery store, the discount store, and just get laundry starch. And so you're going to press it and then spray it with starch, press that so it's totally dry, and that will make it a bit easier to work with. So if you have starch or you like using starch, you can go ahead and spray that on your fabric and see if that helps. But if you don't have any, you've never used it, then you can just see how it goes. That is an optional item. So later on, when we're doing pressing, if you're having problems with that, then you might want to try starch. Again, that's a little bit controversial. You can talk to 50 different quilters and find 50 different answers of should you use starch, shouldn't you use starch, when should you use starch. But that is something that a lot of people like to do. I use starch in some projects, and normally the more intricate and complex your piece is, probably the more starch will be helpful because they will help the fabric keep its shape. In this project, we're going to be dealing with pieces that are pretty big, and so for this type of project, if I was making it, I wouldn't use starch, but if that's going to help you out, then go ahead and use it. So when you have your fabric, you're going to take the whole thing, open it up, press the whole thing, make sure that there aren't any creases in it, and then here's one that I've pressed. Then you're going to fold it in half and line up these two edges of fabric. So these two edges are called the selvage edges. So we want to line those up so that it's pretty straight. And I can see on this edge, you can see this is the half line when I fold it in half, when the edges are lined up, and you can see where that crease was from before. So the crease wasn't totally in the middle, but you're gonna line that up. And then when your fabric is all pressed, we're ready to begin cutting out our pieces. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the next video. For more quilting tutorials, patterns, courses, inspiration, you can find that at my website, epidastudio.com.